The river looks peaceful from the surface, cold, clear, silent, but beneath that moving sheet of water lives one of the most relentless predators freshwater anglers will ever chase. The rainbow trout, a fish that can explode from stillness into chaos in less than a second. A fish that survives floods, droughts, predators, hooks, hatcheries, and entire ecosystems built to kill it. And for generations of fishermen, the rainbow trout has become more than a species. It's an obsession from icy mountain streams to massive reservoirs and even saltwater coastlines. Rainbow trout have spread across the world with astonishing success. But what makes them so adaptable? Why do they fight so hard? And why do some anglers dedicate their entire lives to understanding this one fish? To answer that, you have to go back to where the rainbow trout truly began. The native home of rainbow trout stretches along the Pacific coast of North America, from Alaska all the way down into Mexico. In those cold rivers and lakes, evolution forged a fish built for survival in unstable water. Fast currents created powerful bodies. Crystal clear streams demanded sharp eyesight, and constant predation turned rainbow trout into creatures of instinct, caution, and explosive aggression. Scientifically known as Oncorhynchus mykiss, rainbow trout belong to the salmon family. And like salmon, some rainbow trout live two completely different lives. Most anglers know the freshwater version, brightly colored fish marked by black spots and a pink-red stripe running down the side. But some rainbow trout undergo a dramatic transformation. They leave freshwater entirely. These migratory fish, known as steelhead, travel to the ocean, grow massive feeding on saltwater prey, then return upstream with astonishing endurance to spawn in the rivers where they were born. For fishermen, steelhead are legendary, not just because of their size, but because of their attitude. Hook one, and the river erupts. Long runs, violent head shakes, aerial jumps, pure chaos on light tackle, but even ordinary rainbow trout carry that same wild energy, and that energy comes from the environments they inhabit. Rainbow trout are cold water fish. Temperature controls almost everything in their lives: feeding behavior, oxygen demand, movement, even survival itself. Water between 10 and 16 degrees Celsius is ideal. Push temperatures too high, and trout become stressed. Oxygen drops, feeding slows, mortality rises. That's why serious trout anglers obsess over conditions: water temperature, river flow, insect hatches, cloud cover, barometric pressure. Because the trout live in a world where tiny environmental changes can mean the difference between feeding aggressively and disappearing entirely. And disappearing is something rainbow trout do exceptionally well. They are cautious for a reason. In clear water, trout constantly scan for danger from above. Birds, mammals, shadows, movement. One wrong step on the riverbank can send an entire pool into lockdown. For anglers, this creates one of the greatest challenges in fishing. You're not just trying to catch a trout. You're trying not to be detected by a creature that survives by noticing mistakes. That tension is exactly why trout fishing becomes addictive. Every cast feels earned. Every drift matters. Every fish hooked feels like proof that, for one brief moment, you successfully entered the trout's world without setting off alarms. And then comes the fight. Pound for pound, rainbow trout are among the hardest fighting freshwater fish on Earth. Their streamlined bodies, powerful tails, and life in moving water create incredible stamina. In rivers, they use current like a weapon. In lakes, they dive deep and run fast. But the real spectacle often happens at the surface. Rainbow trout jump, not occasionally, violently. A hooked trout can launch itself completely airborne, twisting in midair while trying to throw the hook free. For anglers, it's one of the most visually thrilling moments in fishing. For the trout, it's survival, and survival has never been easy. Over the last century, rainbow trout populations have faced enormous pressure. Dam construction blocked spawning routes. Logging and agriculture damaged rivers. Rising water temperatures threatened cold water habitats across entire regions. In some places, native trout populations collapsed, yet rainbow trout proved remarkably resilient. Hatchery programs spread them across continents: Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, Australia. Today, rainbow trout exist far beyond their native range, thriving in lakes and rivers where they never originally belonged. For some ecosystems, that introduction created opportunity. For others, it created conflict. Rainbow trout compete with native fish for food and habitat. In certain waters, they became invasive predators, capable of reshaping entire ecosystems. The same adaptability that makes them beloved by anglers also makes them biologically disruptive. It's one of the great contradictions surrounding this fish, a symbol of wilderness, and at times, a threat to it. Modern trout anglers now sit at the center of that tension. Catch and release ethics have become increasingly important. Barbless hooks, careful handling, cold water conservation, habitat restoration. Because many fishermen understand something essential about rainbow trout. The experience matters more than possession. The river at sunrise, the drift beneath overhanging trees, the flash beneath the surface, the sudden stop, then violence, and finally, for a few seconds, direct contact with a wild creature perfectly evolved for its environment. That emotional connection is why trout fishing continues to grow across generations. Fly fishermen study insect hatches with scientific precision. Spin anglers search reservoirs for trophy rainbows, the size of salmon. Ice fishermen target deep winter trout beneath frozen lakes. Different methods, same obsession, because rainbow trout force anglers to improve, to think more carefully, move more quietly, observe more deeply. They punish impatience and reward discipline, and maybe that's the real reason they matter so much. Not because they're the biggest fish in freshwater, not because they're rare, but because they make you earn every single moment. In the end, the rainbow trout is more than a species hiding beneath cold water. It is a test of awareness, of patience, of humility. And somewhere beneath the current, in water so clear it almost disappears, another trout is waiting right now, watching, cautious, perfectly still, until the moment instinct takes over and the river explodes.